There are times when you'll receive payments that are not part of your regular accounts receivable billing process. These funds might come to you from a refund, a commission payment, or just some earned income that is not part of your everyday business. In this tutorial, we'll process a transaction for one such scenario. For our demonstration, let's suppose that you've replaced your office furniture and sold your old desks and chairs to a furniture broker. The broker has paid you with a check, and you'd like to process the receipt without making them a customer in AR, since it's likely that this will be a one-time event. Before we begin our demonstration, it's important to note that while we're going to use the Sage ERP Accpac portal to access the modules in our example, you can also use the traditional desktop interface to work with the same accounts receivable features that we'll be demonstrating. So now let's jump in and get started. From the portal, we'll go up to the menu and click on Tasks, Accounts Receivable, scroll down to the Transaction section, and select Receipt Entry. Here in Receipt Entry, we'll create a new batch by clicking the new icon. And let's enter a relevant description for this batch, which will be Miscellaneous Cash Receipts. Note that our sample data is based in the year 2020, and we entered June 30th, 2020 as our session date when we logged in. Accordingly, the batch date has defaulted to the current session date. Moving to bank code, make sure to enter the bank where the deposit will be made. For this demo, we'll keep the default bank code. By leaving the deposit number field blank, the system will automatically assign a number. If you'd like to add this receipt to a deposit that you've previously opened, you can do so by using the Finder to look up and open the existing deposit number. Moving to the specific receipt entry portion of the form, you can add a description for the entry, which we'll skip for this example. Next, we'll select the transaction type, which is the most important part of this process. Here we'll choose Miscellaneous Receipt, and note that once the selection is made, the screen refreshes with some new options. Moving on, we'll keep the default receipt and posting dates, and now we have the option to select an existing customer. However, as we mentioned earlier, in our scenario, we're processing a receipt that is not from an existing customer. And since it's unlikely that we'll sell anything to this buyer again, we don't want to create a customer record for them in AR. Accordingly, let's skip the customer number field, and instead we'll enter a payer, which for our demo will be ABC Furniture Brokers. Moving to the reference field, we'll enter a note here to help clarify this transaction. Let's assume that we were paid by check, so we'll leave this as the default payment code entry. Next, we'll enter the check number, which will be 987654. Moving to invoice number, you can enter your own number here or let the system automatically allocate one. In this case, we'll enter 2020-0630 as the invoice number to reference the sale date. And let's suppose that we received $1,200 for the furniture, so we'll enter that as the receipt amount. For tax group, we'll open the Finder and select USD tax and close the warning message. For this example, we'll assume that there were no taxes associated with the sale, so we'll set the transaction to non-taxable by hitting the tax button and set the tax class under each tax authority to 2, which is our non-taxable class. Now we'll move to the details section of the form. We need to distribute the $1,200 to the correct account number in the GL. We could use a distribution code which points to a GL account. However, since we are not in the business of selling used office furniture, we probably do not have a distribution code for such a sale. Instead, we'll go to the GL account field and use the Finder to look up a miscellaneous income account. Here we'll search for description starts with MISC, and let's select account 4230. Next, we'll tab to the amount field and enter 1200, and then hit the Insert key on our keyboard. And to complete the entry, we'll click Add. So to recap, we demonstrated how to use the AR receipt entry function to process some income that was received outside of our normal AR billing routine. The process allowed us to forego creation of a new customer for this one-time transaction and to distribute the amount to the appropriate GL account. Further, the transaction runs through the Sage ERP Accpac bank system for reconciliation purposes. Give us a call if you need assistance with this or any other feature in your Sage ERP Accpac system. Well, that's it for this tutorial. Bye for now.